Hi everyone, my name is Cindy and now I want to present the analysis of bird strikes together with the solutions to minimize their impact. First of all, bird strikes have led to the significant damage and casualties on the aviation service. To reduce the damage and casualties from bird strikes, further analysis should be conducted. First, I'll review the history of bird strikes over the past 12 years. Here, the dual axis time series shows that the injury rate fluctuated from 2000 to 2012, with 2003 showing the highest rate of injury rate. With no causality assigned to the bird strikes in 2004 and 2010 to 2012, the causality resulting from bird strikes were much less compared to the injury rate. The highest causality rate happened in 2009. Moreover, the total cost time series shows that the overall expenses resulting from bird strikes between 2000 and 2012 were the peak cost fall in 2009. At the same time, the highest fatality rate caused by bird strikes occurred in 2009. This indicated that 2009 saw the most severe damage caused by bird strikes. To further examine the total costs associated with damage from bird strikes, alongside the injury and fatality rate, I'll show the forecast. Here, the forecast shows that the total cost damage is estimated to be decreased by approximately 21.15% in the next 5 years. However, the injury rate is predicted to be increased by approximately 2.99%. Also, the causality associated with bird strikes accident will be declined by approximately 0.04% over the next 5 years. Aside from the forecast and historical review, I'll present the analysis of bird strikes with multiple factors. Here, it's shown that the business aircraft operator contributed to the highest injury rate and fatality rate, followed by the Inch and Atlantic Southeast. In addition, the business aircraft operator also generated the highest total cost associated with damage caused by bird strikes, followed by FedEx Express, United Airlines, US Airways, and Delta Airlines. The average perspective also showed the same aircraft operators with different place. Now, I'll analyze the bird strike incidents by bird species. So this graph shows that the Canada goose was responsible for the highest damage caused, followed by the medium-sized unknown bird species, white-tailed deer, large-sized unknown bird species, and bald eagle. Moreover, the bird species that contributed to the highest injury rate are the turkey vulture, medium-sized unknown bird species, Canada goose, large-sized unknown bird species, and black vulture. Besides, the bird species that mostly cause the highest death toll are the red-tailed hawk, American white pelican, Canada goose, large-sized unknown bird species, and white-tailed deer. From the analysis of the wildlife species, it seems that the bird species should be avoided by aircraft to further improve the aviation safety are the Canada goose, large-sized unknown bird species, white-tailed deer, American white pelican, red-tailed hawk, medium unknown bird species, bald eagle, turkey vulture, New World vulture, black vulture, gulls, and small-sized unknown bird species. Moving to the warning announcement analysis, this pie chart shows that 85% of the injuries were resulted from the aircraft driven by pilots who didn't receive the warning of birds or wildlife. This is worsened by the fact that pilots who had not been warned of birds and wildlife are more likely to contribute to the fatalities associated with the bird strikes. Similarly, the cost of damage associated with bird strikes will be higher when there's no warning of birds or wildlife to the pilot. Next, I'll move to the linear regression. So this linear regression shows that the average total cost of bird strike damage and wildlife species are statistically significant. Impact to flight and indicated damage also showed the same result. These three variables showed that the null hypothesis could be rejected so that the alternative hypothesis accepted. So the null hypothesis rejected assumes that there's no relationship between the average total cost and these variables. Thus, this linear regression suggests that the average total cost of damage caused by bird strikes were impacted by the wildlife species, indicated damage, and impact to flight. The cluster analysis examines the relationship between the average total cost from bird strikes incidents and the aircraft type, prior warning to pilots about the birds or wildlife, the wildlife species, and indicated damage that may have contributed to its high cost of damage. So this cluster analysis shows that those independent variables correlated with the average total cost served as the dependent variable. This identifies bird strike causes in order to obtain the insight used to make the decision in order to reduce the harm associated with bird strikes. Finally, I'll move to the decision tree that will expressively justify and recommend which aircraft operator should be improved on its safety protocol. So this decision tree suggests that the business aircraft operator should be prioritized for the safety enhancement, including the aircraft design and improvement of strategy to avoid birds and wildlife to prevent the strikes in the future. So aside from that, the other aircraft operators that should improve their safety protocols are the United Airlines and privately owned operators. Last but not least, there are three recommended solutions to minimize the bird strikes and its harm. First, the safety protocols. And here, the aircraft operators with the highest damage rate should be prioritized in safety improvement to reduce the human injuries and fatalities. The decision tree mentioned previously suggests that the three aircraft operators that should improve its safety protocols are business, followed by United Airlines, and privately owned aircraft. Secondly, the birds and wildlife species education. Here, it's important to educate the pilots about the bird and wildlife species, especially the wildlife species that are responsible for most bird strikes. This helps pilots to identify and understand the most damaging birds and wildlife, so they can take precaution of these species prior to the aviation service. Lastly, the warning of birds and wildlife to the pilots before operations are also important so that the pilots can exercise a caution regarding the birds and wildlife before the aviation service. So that's the end of my presentation. Thank you for your time.